It is showtime, Pegasus Actual fans. What is up tonight? So I am waiting on some panelists to get here. And, we got a good episode for you tonight. We're doing the episode Torn. And we started a little bit early because obviously, usually we try to plan it so that this stream gets done, and then we head on over to Comics Vision's channel to do Comics' stream. And, of course, that'll be a little bit later. Comics, I believe, is going to go live around about an hour and a half from now, about 10 o'clock. So yeah, we're going to be doing Comics Vision stream tonight as well over at his channel. So we're going to try to work our way through this as quick as possible. Of course, I've got, as far as the channel goes, got some new videos up. If you guys like metal, check those out. Got some couple of music video reactions up on the channel, and it's pretty good. I actually thought I did a pretty decent job on them, so check them out. Ginger Pisces, and then we did another Ginger song, a live version of Perennial at Wacken, whichever. So that's what we been doing. So bring in Brian the Gravedigger.
Howdy.
We are talking about the episode Torn tonight. So we'll get into the recap right away. So basically, we started out with they kind of just go back and show scenes like where Sharon is sworn in as a new officer by Athena Sharon. We see a little bit of a flashback of some of the stuff that from New Caprica, a quick scene about Casey's mom the real mom of the daughter gets her back from Kara. Baltar and Beers are talking a little bit, and they just show them offering Baltar a place on the base star. So we get into right before Act 1, and it shows Baltar and the six that's in his head. They're in that beach house, and she basically says that he should learn everything that he can about the Cylons. And she's telling him that Cylon psychology, the way their mind works, is based on projections. So it's essentially how they see the world. And that's kind of how she's explaining it to him of how he sees her. He wants to know basically if she's a connection to Caprica 6 or is the damaged part of his psyche. Well, she basically tells him that she's an angel sent from God. So then Baltar wakes up on the base ship. Deanna Beers and Baltar, or at least Deanna from Caprica, is so we can specify here. They are kind of just sitting there talking in a cell, and then the other six comes in and asks her something. And, she says, well, I haven't asked yet. She asks if he knows where Earth is. And Baltar says he doesn't. And they're disappointed about that, obviously. And Beers says that, well, they had hoped there would be a reason to keep him around. He then kind of covers his ass by claiming, well, I spent hours studying the map seen on Cobalt, which is a kind of a load of hooey. He spent a lot less than that, but they kind of just give him that look like, oh, well, yeah, we'll think about it. And he asks why they want to know about Earth. And Deanna Beers says, well, they've decided that it will be their new home. And then we go to the opening credits, and that's that. So, Brian, what do you make of the interaction where we start off and they're in the base ship?
Oh, yeah, naked guys on the the lounge sofa. I can't remember the exact name for that thing. Fainting couch, I guess. I don't know. I thought it was kind of crazy. It was fun how we got more of an idea on how the Cylons actually work with projections and how they're actually they don't actually see what they think people are seeing. The revelations that Gaius is starting to outlive his usefulness is fun to watch him start to squirm and try and make his way out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what he's got, though. That's like his trademark.
Oh, he's definitely got
squirm and conquer.
Yeah, he's got an instinct for self-preservation. So, essentially what happens is he has to, fake it till you make it type of thing. He has to bullshit his way through, and and that's Gaius's strong suit because essentially he's one of those people that is like, well, I'm going to survive at all costs, even if I got to bullshit. So, yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Learning more about the Cylons was pretty neat. I like how they kind of dropped that nugget and explained the whole concept of the projection thing.
It sets a bit of a tone for this episode. There's a lot of explanations into Cylons and just with everything that goes on through this episode. It shows you a lot, and it's fun to learn more about the enemy. To me, that's what I enjoyed about it.
Yeah. All right, so we get past the opening credits. Vipers are we cut into Act 1, and the Vipers are doing a training mission. Apollo is leading Blue Team. I like the nice little nod to the 78 series here, by the way. That Apollo is leading the Blue Team, which has Starbuck in his wing as well. Cat leads the Red Team, which includes Hot Dog. Starbuck gets a mock kill on Hot Dog, and Apollo goes in after Cat. And Starbuck kind of comes in to back him up, gets too close, and they collide. And then we cut to the hangar deck, and Tyrell and Callie are checking out Kara's damaged Viper and find that it has no fuel. And as they walk away from the Vipers, Hot Dog comments to Kat about Kara landing the Viper essentially on empty. And Apollo walks up to Starbuck while she's sitting near the Viper and grounds Starbuck from active flying for now. So, essentially he thinks that her head's just not in it. So, thoughts on that?
To me, I was never a fan of long hair Kara. I guess I don't know if y'all already made up nicknames for her or not, but that's what I always nicknamed that one. I think it was very necessary because everybody has to get used to their positions again. Because we're still only this is episode 6, so what? Episode 2 or 3 was when everything went down.
It's only been like they've only been back on the Galactica maybe a week, couple weeks. So
Yeah. So
yeah.
like time wise, yeah, everybody's still trying to find where they belong, and I mean, at this point, we've already gotten past the whole jury pushing everybody out the airlocks, so they don't
Hmm.
have that anymore. I mean, even with Tyrrell here, like where he's chasing somebody, they're just lost. And that's one thing that shows a lot, and especially with that scene right there with Kara. She's just
Hmm.
she's not that sloppy. She's the best flyer they got. That wouldn't
Yeah.
happen. So, but yeah, long hair
So
Kara is not. I'm not a fan.
so it kind of just shows that Kara's definitely going through some psychological issues, especially from the ordeal on New Caprica, where Leo been had her locked up in that house. Then,
Mm-hmm.
then he warps her mind by thinking like she's got a daughter, but she doesn't really have a daughter, and it just like completely mind fucked her. And yeah, she's right now kind of a huge mess because it really screwed her up. And then she's carrying around all this anger because she doesn't know who to throw it at.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, she's a mess.
She's a
She's a mess.
target.
Yeah, she's a time bomb at the moment. All right, so we cut back to Ty's quarters. He, of course, he's just in his quarters doing what Ty does. He's drinking,
Oh yeah, tying one
and
on.
and see, Ty's like got his own issues, obviously, and he thinks he hears Ellen, and he's like, Ellen. He walks out of his quarters, and he wanders down the corridor till he sees a blonde, or he thinks he sees a blonde. He thinks it's Ellen, but it turns out to be just another crew person. And you can clearly see that he's not right in the head right now at all. So he's hallucinating. He's back to drinking, and he's a hot mess. So then we cut to Apollo and Hilo, and they're in the rec room, and they're like working out. Apollo is looking more fit. He's not fatly anymore,
Right.
which is good.
Yeah,
He tells Hilo, "Don't ever let me do that again."
never again.
And Hilo says, "Yep, sure, Skinny, no problem." And I kind of like that bit. A lot of the fans got kind of sick of Fat Lee, so
Yeah, fatly.
so we just kind of went to that. And look who's here! We got Raquel.
Oh wow. Howdy.
Hi, Brian.
Howdy.
It's so good to see you, sweetheart. How are you?
I'm cold. Yeah,
yeah,
y'all's
that's right,
weather
you're-
is up in my front yard, and you come pick it up. Like I'll give it cab fare. I'll give it cab fare halfway, but you're gonna meet this weather
Brian's
halfway and
got
take
all-
it back.
Brian knows what I go through now. With the
Dude, no,
snow.
like I grew up in Kansas. Like when I was young, like we'd have 4 foot, 8 foot snowdrifts. Like here, like a 3 foot snowdrift shuts everything down.
Yeah.
It's insane.
So
I wish I could help my American friends. I come from, the polar north, high
Oh, yeah.
Arctic, and so we're totally prepared for this shit. And you guys are not. There are so many things that I wish I could teach my friends in Texas. And what's really crazy is Alberta is one of the coldest places in the north. Sometimes up to 5 to 10 days colder than even the Antarctic. So
wow.
I just wish that we could help our friends in Texas.
Well, you can. All we got to do is just keep them in our thoughts and everything else. And
Did we go live? Are we live?
Yes, we are, and I've been trying to do I've been trying to do a bang up job of carrying it, and we are up to the point where Apollo and Hilo are working out in the rec room, and Lee is no longer Fat Apollo. So if you want to pick up from there,
hold on for a minute here. When did the show start?
We actually started at 8:30. Yes.
We're
Okay,
early on accident.
I sent you a message. Yeah, I sent you a message saying, "Hey, we're going to start early."
What? Where is this? Let me go see this message.
It's in a group chat, I think.
At 20 after 6. You guys started at 20 after 6. Oh my gosh. So I just burst in here thinking that we weren't even on air, and the show's already started.
Welcome, very warm welcome, though.
Hey, PJ. Great to see you.
No, actually, I'm back in Oklahoma.
Oh, are you in Oklahoma now?
Yeah, I'm in Blanchard. So I'm like pretty much where we got more snow than we're supposed to get.
Yeah. I feel so bad for everyone in Texas. I don't even know what to say.
We aren't built for, our stuff's made to be insulated for 36 hours below freezing.
Yeah.
We've been below freezing for over a week and a half now. So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
Thank you, PJ, for retweeting the show. Appreciate it. So
what scene are we on?
we are in the scene where Hilo and Apollo are working out in the rec room. Apollo is no longer Fat Lee, and he tells Hilo that don't ever let me do that again. And Hilo replies, "It's okay, Skinny. You got this."
Oh my goodness. Okay, let me figure out where I am. You just talk amongst yourselves. I thought this show began at 7 o'clock, but apparently it starts at 20 after 6. So let me find myself. You guys just go ahead and talk.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. The next thing coming up is the deciphering of the scroll, I think. If that helps you at all.
Yeah. We'll go to this little interlude beforehand. And so after the rec room, we cut over to Kara. And, we already know that Kara's not with it because of the Viper accident earlier in the episode. You can tell that she is preoccupied. And she is walking along the corridor, and Casey comes running up. Casey wants a hug from Kara. Casey's mother says that she's been trying to reach Kara. And Kara basically brushes him off, saying, I don't need a 2-year-old friend. She's really kind of rather rude about it. And she picks Casey up and puts her in her mother's arms. And he sort of walks off very curtly. Casey's mother kind of makes a snide comment about, way to keep it up. And, you can clearly see, again, that Kara just doesn't have it. She is preoccupied. She is, way the hell off. She's got a lot of anger issues. And she went through a really messed up psychosis from obviously being locked up in Leoben's little prison house that they had on New Caprica. So there's a lot in play here. And then we'll get into...
Sorry, my brain went to Leoben's section in 50 Shades. I don't know why, but... That's where my brain went. This is his own little dungeon where he had playthings.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into the scene where Gaeta is briefing Rosalind and Adama as soon as Raquel catches up to that.
Okay.
And we'll be good to go. So far, the theme that I'm noticing about this episode, Brian, is that my God, there's just a lot of mental damage throughout the crew. I mean, there's a lot of mental damage throughout the crew, because of what you have going on with Ty, and then what they just got out of with all the shit going on with the secret tribunal, the Circle, and and how that really put people on edge. And then then you've got this whole other thing going on with Baltar on the base ship, and he's trying to essentially bullshit his way through so that he doesn't get thrown off into the great void into space. So it's just like there is just chaos going on both sides, and it's mainly it's mainly people chaos. It's not actual combat or chaotic events in that sense. It's just like, man, so much life chaos going on with people. It's so much so many mental issues and psychoses, and it's just like it was really noticeable just seeing all that. So I don't know, what was your take on that?
The mental breaks and the psychosis, I think, were some of the things that made all these characters so human, and actually made the show as enjoyable as it was. To me, that's one of the best parts of the writing that was going on in the show.
Yeah, and we have author Stephen Walton here.
I was about to text. I was about to text you. Hey guys,
great to see Stephen.
Yeah, late. I'm sorry, buddy. My phone. For some reason, 9:00 kept going off in my head.
Yeah,
when I planned out my day.
I know. Same with Raquel. And I sent her a message saying, "Hey, we're going to start early," but she didn't see it.
Yeah, but at 25 after 6.
25 after. You couldn't throw her a DM.
I did throw her a DM
a day ago.
Oh well, yeah. I didn't know exactly when we were starting. I had to find out what time comics was starting today. So
that's okay. Go ahead, drive the bus. We'll be here to support you.
And if it's a short bus, I'm just here for the ride.
So it's my turn today, huh?
Yeah, rock and roll.
Okay. All right. So from we go to the scene where Gaeta is briefing Rosalind and Adama on Baltar's progress into finding Earth, or what they speculate that Baltar's progress is.
Listen, I'm sorry, I got to interrupt. I'm sorry, Drew. I'm eating sushi and I didn't think, is that Brian the Gravedigger?
That's what I said, and I said it on air because I thought we were actually backstage. So I was like, Brian, how's it going? And doing our regular pre-show crap, and then and then I saw that we were live.
Brian, thank you for being here. If you're there, you can listen on a replay with your nipple avatar. But look, man, thank you so much for inviting me into the Pegasus Actual podcast when you guys first started it. Been waiting for you to come back ever since. Gone through a lot of different hosts, and we found Raquel, and Raquel's been just a gem. And so, I just wanted to say I can't wait to keep streaming with you whenever you're available, dude. Thank you for having me on here. This has been a great experience doing this show with Drew.
Yeah, he's streaming from an iPhone, which is why he's
that shit's overheating.
It's been a little up and down, but he'll be back momentarily. So
get him on the playback. Sorry.
But I know he appreciates it. All right. Gaeta is briefing Rosalind Adama on Baltar's progress in finding Earth. He says that the scroll Pythia indicated a lion's head with the pulsating red and blue eye as the clue to Earth.
Had to be pulsating.
Of course, it has to be pulsating, man.
Throbbing.
Yeah, it's the throbbing lion. So they're looking for the throbbing lion nebula.
I think you took that to a dirty place.
Oh, I sure did. Of course. So we cut over to the base star. Baltar and the six he's with on the base star, they're taking a stroll around and talking. And she informs Baltar they've sent a Cylon out to look for the same nebula that the Colonials just figured out. And so they pass another corridor, one of my favorite scenes, where a naked 8 model is meditating.
Hell
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And 6 explains to Baltar that they're using projection, and suddenly they're standing in a lush forest. She explains that she chooses to see the beauty of God's creation rather than blank walls.
That is pretty cool. That is, imagine if you could do that.
Yeah.
Put yourself in that kind of state, like that state of meditation, or, just walking and being able to change your environment. Think differently that differently about your environment. I think it was pretty cool, some of the abilities that the Cylons had, and I'm glad that they took the time during the series to go into exactly how they function and like what it was to live as one of them.
That was one of the very underrated things in we touched on that a tiny bit earlier, me and Brian, because this episode was really cool from that aspect where they showed the Cylon's ability to just, change environments to kind of, make it more pleasing to them, whatever, rather than just be in just a drab metallic walled environment. I thought that was really awesome because, they can essentially create very vivid, almost pseudo realities. And it's really neat. What was your, I guess, reaction to their abilities, Raquel?
Well, I thought it was good that, if you're watching this for the first time, that you get some clarification as to how they're able to share thoughts and how they're able to enter these sort of corridors in the mind. You're up to this point, you're probably thinking it's some form of possession. At one point, Gaius even thought he had a chip in his head. So, and that's how they were communicating in these corridors, in these locked away corridors of the mind. So, finally, the viewer gets some explanation as to the nature of the projections and whether or not they're real. So evidently they've been real the entire time.
Yeah, I enjoy how they do reinforce the kind of the idea of the Baltar, am I a Cylon, that they toyed with earlier in the show.
Mm-hmm. And there's Brian. Hey, Steve, did you hear what Steve said? Did you hear what Steve said earlier?
What did I say earlier? Did I F up already? I just came in and ate sushi. Grave. Brian! Brian, I sent you plenty of love when you weren't even there. I'm sorry. You have to go back and watch the replay.
You have to get headphones.
Oh, you just didn't care about it. All right. I see how it is. All right, Brian. Thank you.
I can respond without making the whole stream a hot mess. So I'm kind of pacing. And y'all can't really see what I'm doing. Hey, come here.
All right, so we got some folks that came in the chat. We've got Tequila. It's great to see you. Toxic Man Flu, our very, very dedicated viewer the past 3 weeks. Upgang Actual. And Upgang Actual says, began watching Hail All. Isn't Cylon projection basically daydreaming?
Yeah, but it's better.
I don't know, because they're still lucid and they're still performing their basic functions of the day. It's just, I'd say it's more of an augmented reality kind of a thing. I guess that's exactly what it'd be, is augmented reality, right?
That's actually a good point. Augmented reality. I like that.
It's an overlay of the world around them. So yeah, I guess it'd be augmented reality. Well, I just kind of took all the cool out of it. I'm sorry.
Dude, that is, Steven, this is what we missed from our boy.
This is absolutely always outside the box.
Mm-hmm. Boom.
That's not a pun.
Oh, man. So So Raquel, I guess Toxic wants to make up with you.
What the hell? What did you do?
Hold on.
I apologize for my behavior.
Did Toxic? Did you get yourself in trouble?
I was drunk. It's a trope, but I was actually drunk. TMF.
Oh, TMF. What did you do? Oh, she'll be back in a minute, so I will pull that comment back up for as soon as she's back. Oh, okay. So we get through where they're taking a walk around the base ship, and as Six is explaining the Naked Sharon, which I may or may not have slowed down frames to research and look back a few times.
You want
another
just doing generic copy and paste, okay?
A Daryl or a Daryl, I like to call him Daryl, but a Daryl walks right through the projection and screws up everything. And so back in the beach house world, Baltar tells the Six in his head that now he understands projection. Then he wonders how he has such a vivid imagination himself. The head Six tells Baltar to ask yourself if you're a Cylon. The Six standing next to Baltar hears his outburst, and he covers by saying, well, he was just talking to himself. And then, of course, we go to the mid-act break. So thoughts on that little exchange, because the Six almost figured out the Six.
Go ahead, take it, Brian.
She definitely figured out how crazy he was at that point, because just the look she gave him was just impressive. Like, the hell are you? What just came out of your mouth? I loved it.
Yeah,
the breaks though,
and it really kind of
the whole thing.
It really kind of fanned the flames too, because back at this time, there were a lot of fans, Stephen, when this was going on, that thought they were already starting to think, man, Baltar was probably a Cylon, and this just made it. Oh God, it just drove up the speculation as soon as that scene happened.
Oh, I love to see Baltar stressed. He's that actor James. I can't remember his last name.
James Callis.
James Callis did such a good job playing that character, man. Like, if you play a character that I don't like really well, I appreciate you more as an actor, to be honest, like a good antagonist. And he's kind of somewhere in between. He's never really fully redeemed, but he's, great. I love to see him stressed. So yeah, the whole idea of him being a Cylon, no, I never thought it was the truth, to be honest, first time I watched it. I just thought it was more torturing Baltar.
Did you ever notice it's always the Brits too? It's always the British dudes.
Well, they have great accents. Those accent, people look at the an English accent or a certain type of British accent and think intellect, or intellectual. So there was, again, that's, that was a great idea to have him in with that accent in the show.
Yeah, and thank you, Tox, for dropping the links in the chat, doing some yeoman's work. Appreciate you. Thank you for staying on top of that, my friend. Dropping the link for Steve. Tox is repping you, boy.
Thank you, Tox. Much appreciated.
But yeah, like I really kind of dig that whole thing, because he does like weird and quirky like so well, dude. And just when the Six in his head kind of starts messing with him, and like, ask yourself if you're a Cylon. It's like, Oh shit, man! You know, because he just
Drew, would you want to be a Cylon? The skin jobs.
Kind of. Not gonna lie.
I like the idea of croaking. I would try and stay alive for as long as I possibly could, because after so many times it starts hurting them.
I mean, you re-download. You just come right back in another body.
Got super body parts, all kinds of cool stuff.
You get when you get off, your spine glows. I
don't know about the guys. I mean, maybe their ass just blows up like Rudolph's red nose.
Maybe their ass
just glows like a red.
This brings a new meaning to the term. Man, that guy's a red ass.
Uh-huh.
Oh shit, man. Oh, that's great. But yeah, I see. I would like the idea of that. Man, the Colonials are so fucked up. Really, when it comes down to it, when you see all the shit they go through, man, it's really fucked up.
Yes, you know what? I just started. I'm going to admit this right now. I started watching Blood and Chrome last night.
Yeah,
that's a good one. I got that too.
Yeah, very underrated.
I'm actually kind of glad that there are these pieces of media that I haven't seen since they aired, that I can go to, because it's really cool living that experience, just seeing something new from that age of Battlestar Galactica, from the Ronald D. Moore era. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. I only got like 35 minutes of the way in, but I'm gonna watch the rest of it later.
Yeah, Blood and Chrome is actually pretty dope, dude.
And there was side areola.
Oh yeah, there was
shower scene.
Yeah, there was.
I noticed it.
There was. Oh yeah.
For research purposes.
Yes.
Right.
That would be in the very first. Yes, very first shower scene. Yes. Mm-hmm. Anyway, beautiful.
Raquel,
she might be having problems.
Yeah, I'm here. Hi.
So what did you think of Toxic's apology?
He apologized to who?
To you.
Why did he apologize to me?
Oh, hang on. I gotta go find the comment again. Here.
Oh my goodness, you have nothing to be sorry for. You are a delightful human being. And on Clobbering Times, you were clever, entertaining. You had the whole community in stitches, and everybody just adores you. I love your company, and you are never disrespectful to me, nor can I tell when you're inebriated. When you're inebriated, I think your puns just get better. You have nothing to apologize for, TMF. I absolutely love you very much. Mwah, mwah. And thank you so much for watching me on Clobbering Times.
So, how was Clobbering Times? Real quick, because I just only streamed with them recently. Yeah. And I thought they're pretty cool people. What do you make? Do you like those guys over there? You talk with them a lot or stream with them a lot?
We do Saturday night Star Trek. So
really?
We're actually going through the entire canon from 1966 to the end. And yeah.
Oh my God.
So every Saturday we do that, and the show is usually around 3 hours long.
What time do you start?
I don't know what time we start for you. For me, I believe it's 8 Mountain.
Okay, now I'll just look at his channel. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
Mike Alonso. He used to own and operate a
comic shop. Yeah,
a comic book
store. He's another Gary.
Yeah, he's very clever. He's been on Doomcock a couple of times, and he's a lovely person, and I really enjoy his company. So yeah, we hang out there.
Awesome. Hey, good to hear. I love to hear awesome people in the community.
Raquel, on your thing, you have where Act 2 picks up, right?
Back when we go to the Cylon base ship. Where are we?
Just after the stuff about projection, when
the stuff right after projection. Oh yes, yeah. And then we go back to Galactica, yeah.
Yeah, and they're in the pilot's lounge.
Yeah, they're in the rec room. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you want me to read from there? Or,
If you want
or do
to,
you want me to comment there?
If you want to pick up Act 2, go ahead.
Sure. Okay, so we're back on Galactica in the rec room. It's packed as everyone tucks into some booze and cards. At a table with Hilo and Sharon Agathon, Sharon politely rejects her boomer nickname, and Hilo throws it to the room. Lots of kind replies are shouted back in kind until they land on Athena, which is the god of wisdom and war. Ty walks in and he's called to Kara's table to play Dead Man's Chest and, of course, to drink. They share some war stories and miseries. Ty gets into the Misery Olympics with everyone in the room. Those who went to New Caprica and those who stayed on Galactica. Tensions are very high as the pilots, civilians, and a skin job and the resistance are all squeezed into Galactica now. So it's a tight ship and lots of tension.
Absolutely, especially considering everything that these people have been through. I love how they just ratchet it right back up. They get a breather, and now everything's right back up to the same kind of worry and hurried pace and suspicion that we had. And I think it's the latter half of season 1.
Well, the thing that I noticed, that probably both of you noticed, Raquel and Steven, that Kara is walking around like a time bomb.
Yeah.
Ty is walking around hallucinating like fucking God knows what, because he thinks he's seeing Ellen everywhere. And, he's like going half batshit crazy. So you already know, man, there are so many issues at play here. I mean, for fuck's sake, God, just almost starting off the damn episode, Kara wrecks a Viper. So it's like, Jesus Christ, man, it's a shit show around there. And, it's just, the tension's ratcheting up. The crew is far from efficient right now, and you can see that there is
the cold water running over there.
Between it's sort
There's
of
the cold water running on their side of the house.
No, there's nothing running over
there. Ooh. So you can see though the conflict between the crew that came back from New Caprica and the crew that's been on the ship the whole time. So there's definitely that as well. So you've got a lot of tension.
And overpopulation. They're at maximum now, right? So space is at a premium. So it's not just intellectual and emotional congestion. It's also physical congestion, and I don't think that's going to help.
No, as I'm sure we'll find out. So
when you're having a get the F out of my face moment, the worst thing you can do is walk into a crowd.
Yeah, you're right.
What I mean? Yeah. That's not when you go to Costco on a Friday at 3:00.
Yes, exactly.
When you have pent up aggression, and you should probably just listen to some Pantera and have a bath.
Right.
That's not the time to go to Costco.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
You're buzzing, man.
Sorry about that, y'all. I had to figure out the water's frozen up again.
No.
That's not good.
That's not good.
In these unprecedented times. Tired of hearing that. Tired of living that.
Listen, I feel bad for everybody that's going through this deep freeze down south right now, but as a Northeastern person, this is just Tuesday. So
imagine how I feel in Canada.
Yeah, this is like 3 days a week for Raquel.
No, this is like literally like 2 entire months out of every year.
Oh my God. See, we get breaks. I'm in a good part of the country where we get the cold snaps, but then it, usually gets near 50s and then it'll go back into the cold. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you do it up there. The scenery, it has to be the scenery.
Well, I thought we were going to talk about that pre-show prep, but that was live on air. And that's what I was just going to discuss with Brian. I feel so bad for them because it's really just about preparedness. Like their grid is not set up for this type of cold weather, and
Mhm.
they're not used to this kind of thing, right?
I
In
know.
Canada, you're going to see tons of people that, and almost everyone here, well, not almost everyone, but almost everyone has a basement here, unless you live on the island,
Right.
where you have to blast it out with dynamite. But most people have basements, and they have these pellet stoves, and they'll cook your house, 1,200, 1,400 square feet with just a little bit of wood. And so I could never imagine living in Texas where they pour a concrete pad and build a house on it, because how are you keeping that warm?
Yeah.
And just and we have up here, we bargain for closet space. Like, we have dozens of closets in our homes because we literally have 4 seasons of clothing, and it's for a business, it's for travel, it's for exercising in the weekend.
Right.
So you have to imagine the shoes and clothing and stuff we have here. I mean, Texas is not ready for this. You know what I mean? Like, the average woman this year got sent a catalog in Alberta that said that they now had heated boots on sale.
Wow.
It's not really happening in Texas.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I know. It's just a lot of it's a shame. They're not built for that at all. That's why Nerd Cookies, she's down there, and she had said, I said, "Do you have a wood stove?" And she goes, "Yes, I have a wood stove." I was like, "All right, you're gonna be fine then."
Yeah.
That was the first thing I thought.
Yeah.
Nah, I've got a fireplace. That's what saved me.
There you go.
That's one thing I pretty much require anywhere I live is fireplace.
Are you making love by the fireplace? Because that's what they're for too.
There's already 5 kids, man.
Oh my!
He said, "I'm done."
Yeah, there's been some life changes.
Okay, all right. That's a team. You know what I mean? You joined a baseball team. Maybe.
I'm trying to get a whole ranch going here. So
right.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Herd them up.
Oh, it's fun, but it's a lot of girls.
So you're going to have a wonderful life. You're going to be a dance dad. Have fun with that. Buy a bat.
That's awesome.
Do you know what I mean? Just buy a bat.
For the jugular.
Well, that's what happens when you're a dad. You become a dance dad when you have little girls, and then you have to buy a bat, and you have to perfect your stink eye. And every morning when you get up and shave, you look in the mirror and make sure that you have the hairy eyeball going and a bit of a snarl.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Pretty much, it's all dad voice.
Yeah.
You're a big guy.
Just pretending to be mad right now.
Don't
do that. Yeah, that's the majority of my day.
Oh my!
There's a lot of why did you do that involved too, but that's another story.
Yeah, cool.
Hey,
it's good. So good to see you, dude.
I appreciate it. Oh yeah, dude, what's up?
Hi, I still have hair. I still have more. I still have more hair.
Cut mine off.
I still have more hair than Sporking. So as long as I'm good, as long as I'm like that, I'm good.
Poor Scott.
Yeah. See, Scott's a dick. He's all right. He's all right.
I've never seen men bond this way before. It's been a long time since I've seen you. Let's check on one another's male pattern baldness.
I got some little peaks going on. That's because I think I'm a badass. Because I got my little hair up in a ponytail now. So I'm growing it out one more time, Raquel. Done. One more time before it all turns gray. George Carlin did it.
Yeah,
dude. Now, I grew mine.
Yeah, as long as your ponytail isn't the size of a pencil, you should be okay. You know what I mean?
If ain't nothing thin.
Is the size of a pencil? It's time to let it go.
No,
my
ponytail's always going to have girth. Always.
Speaking of let it go, you're going to have a lot of let it go in your life. There'll be lots of Frozen in your life.
Oh yeah, it's almost always on Disney.
Yes.
I believe it. I have a stepdaughter. I know what it's like. That's all. I know the whole damn soundtrack and didn't even care to see the movie.
Dude, it's great. Apparently, there's a new Disney movie coming out March 5th now. Maya and the Dragon or something, or Kaya.
Cool.
I'm saying it wrong. Someone's gonna get mad, but I don't care.
It's all right. Just
I'm lucky
just announce supremacy.
I got the right,
I
shoe
wouldn't
on the
worry
right
about it
foot.
too much. They're always like that with streamers. They don't realize the international environment they're in. You know what I mean? Most Americans say species. I don't know where the SCH comes from,
Species.
so I just say
Species.
species.
No, I say
But
species.
yeah, so it goes around, man. It goes around. And what's really clever is when they correct you in the chat and you're just like, look, look, stop it.
My chat saved my life, though. Sometimes I can't pronounce them. Shit. And they let me know. Oh, what's up, man? Oh, so let's move forward.
Yes.
All right.
Raquel, you need to read this.
Oh, sorry
All
to
right.
interrupt you.
Okay, all right, I'll do it. All right, back on the Cylon base ship, Gaius and Six are on a walkabout again as she debriefs Baltar on his ever-evolving case before the Cylon Council. Gaius brings up the fact that there are only 12 Cylon models. And this is just like, we see more illusion here. This is like the apostles, and it's also like the Greek gods. Gaius asks why he's only ever seen 7 models. And on New Caprica, and on the base ship. He asks about the other 5. Caprica says it's complicated and that they never talk about the other 5 ever. She struts away. Gaius pursues her, asking her if she'd be able to identify one of the final 5 if she saw one. They are interrupted by Beers and Doral. The base ship sent to the Lion Nebula has lost contact with them. They rush away, leaving Gaius standing in the corridor, assessing his chances for further self-preservation. Gaius gives chase and overhears the status of the Cylon mission. He questions Six about the term hybrid, and she shushes him. On the Cylon bridge, Central Command Room, code streams from a console that is read by Cylon Touch. Panels stream with code all around them. The Cylons have been infected by a disease, transmissible to every form of Cylon, life, and technology. Any comments on this scene?
No, I really like I really liked the whole I just thought it was really cool how they just put their hand in that stream and things work that way. I always thought that the Cylon ships were pretty fascinating from that aspect.
What do you think about the relationship betwixt the idea of Odo's race and the way that the Cylons assimilate communication and bonding and so on and so forth? What do you think of that Ronald D. Moore connection between Odo and the way the Cylons are communicating here?
I could definitely see that parallel, Raquel. I actually, I like that. And again, we see them utilizing stuff that they never got a chance to utilize before in Deep Space Nine, and it's really cool. Yeah. And I thought that it was genius. We're starting to get into where they're pulling back the curtain on the Cylons, and we're finding out a lot more, and that is and that's really cool to see the other side.
It's quite interesting too, because the writing is taking a turn as the Cylons' skin jobs become more humanized in the writing, right? We're starting to see this being reflected in the writing by making them vulnerable like humans. So back when we just saw them as these centurions, as these toasters, they seemed invincible. And the more we wade into their universe, into their lives, into their intimate lives, the weaker they become. So it's quite interesting. The more human they become, the more vulnerable physically and emotionally they become. So a bravo to the team for writing in that way, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just this episode is really cool because the real sort of interesting thing now with we see that the Cylons are actually susceptible to something when with this news that there's an infection, there's a disease. Well, how bad could it be? How susceptible are they?
Mhm.
So now we're starting to see a little bit of that era of invincibility maybe come into question, and that is something I thought was really cool as well.
Yeah,
See the
Pinocchio
Psylocke.
is on a quest. Pinocchio's on a quest to become more human, but the second that Pinocchio is no longer Pinocchio, subject to some other laws that exist in the universe and in reality, right? If you crave having feelings, not just algorithmic programs, you're going to develop attachments, especially to deplorable creatures like Gaius Baltar, and if you're going to crave being human and living communally, you're going to expose yourself to disease, right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh God, we got some funny comments in the chat. Of course, welcome Parrot Head. Great to see
Yay,
you.
Parrot Head, nice to see you.
Toxic Man Flu said debriefs. I thought this was a family show. So
See
we're
what I
going to
mean?
debeef you, buddy.
I love you. I love you,
Debrief
TMF.
you. Oh man. Parrot Head and Tox just referencing the thing with Justin Proper, which was a hilarious moment on Justin Proper's stream. Justin Proper was on a hot mic. Oh man!
For those who haven't heard, Justin Proper was caught on a hot mic using his bathroom last night on Wes's stream. Oh my lord! I don't know who that person is, but I feel sorry for them. That's terrible. That is absolutely terrible.
Oh, and then Toxic Man Flu regarding the show, he comes up with a good point. For Cylon to evolve, you need a malleable organic medium based on metals, possibly. And Rip Korean Toxic was asking, when did Razor come out? Razor was after the Crossroads episode. Yes, it was. Rip Korean is correct on that. And Rip Korean, great to see you.
Yes, it is. It's nice to see you.
All right. So you want to go on, Raquel?
Okay, so Caprica and Gaius project back to the Sunset Beach. Caprica tells Gaius that if he wants to live, he'll go and investigate the plague ship on behalf of the Cylons. She reasons that if he's human, he won't fall ill. If he's a final fiver, he'll want to die anyway. Either way, he will have proved his worth to the Cylons and will be allowed to live. So any comments on this?
Oh, it was they were already acting sketchy towards them. The only semi allies he had on the base ship were our Caprica and Deanna Beers. So they were already looking at Baltar with a skeptical eye. So I'm not surprised about how they approached this. Because they figure, if he's Cylon, he'll die anyway. So, yeah, I'm not surprised at all. Of course, Baltar doesn't like it.
But it is some pretty ingenious writing because it's if he falls ill, then he knows, right? But yeah, I thought it was very interesting, the wording of "you'll want to die anyway," and that sort of sets you back on your heels to think, what do they mean by that? And then you reconsider the fact that Gaius does not want to be a Cylon. So if he were to discover he is a Cylon, he would want to off himself. That's quite an insightful thing to say. It speaks volumes about this character and what this character would do if he found out he was a cyborg.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. All right. Yeah. That's any thoughts, guys, or?
I think Steven went to the little boy's room and
see, I turn off my when I pee.
I'm here.
The boys are back in town. So, hey guys, what do you think of this scene?
I thought it was another one where it's like it's like you said that the writing was really ingenious with how it pointed out, like if you are a Cylon, you don't want to live.
Yeah.
And like there's so much stuff with this show that you don't catch the first, second, third, or fourth time you watch it. And like I'd never noticed that, but I mean, like I've got it playing here in the background, and it's like, I feel kind of slow, but I mean, it's great. Like there's still stuff like that that's hidden well enough that you can find it later.
Yeah. So if you're processing that and you're in the chat, what Brian's saying is this show is definitely worth a 4th, 5th, and even 6th watch over. So good comment, Brian.
I have no shame about how many times I've watched this. Like,
Yeah.
just like I used to just sit down once a year, and that would be 1 week, or usually it'd be like a snow day or something, and I'd just plow through it during the 2 days I wasn't working.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Snow
I've
day,
watched it
plow
so
through it.
many
Well
times.
played, sir. Well played.
But I'm getting pretty good with the dad jokes.
Okay.
You don't see many elephants hiding in trees because they're really good at it. I love the dad joke aspect of being a father. It's awesome. But
Ruth Korean says, has the obligatory space Cupid joke been mentioned? Oh, geez. Parrothead has to give me crap. Drew, don't let naughty images reflect in your goggles.
Oh, no. That's hysterical. Did that actually happen? Are you at the nudie picture show right now?
No. That actually
just casually strolling.
That actually did happen to me one time though a stream. Like I was checking out a picture of a young lady that happened to not possess a shirt, and it just was noticeable in my glasses. Somebody just looked like, Drew, are you checking out some boobies? It's like, yeah.
Oh my.
It's the person sitting at home watching it on their Samsung 65-inch TV in high def, like,
Oh man, there have been no Spurpies jokes.
Yes, Spurpies is great. Spurpies is from Clobberin' Times. That's a Saturday night Star Trek on Clobberin' Times.
Oh man,
the chat invented the Spurpies. We thought it was pretty funny. Space herpes.
Oh man. Okay, let's scoot on to the next scene.
Okay, so there's a short scene and, well, a few short scenes. So I'll just go through a couple of them and then we can talk about them. So Gaius jumps out of the projection and blurts out that he'll volunteer and take a colonial ship, taken in battle, of course. That's how they possess the colonial ship, to prevent further spread. Then we cut to a shot of Galactica in space. Then back to the quote-unquote poker table and excessive drinking. The insults fly between the pilots who stayed with the old man, Kat especially, and Ty and Kara. They're bitter and drunk. Kara and Saul have been through hell, and now they're spreading that pain around. Then we cut to the old man and Hilo. They discuss the low morale and Ty's presence in the pilot's rec room. The old man and Hilo discuss how Ty and Starbuck are eroding cohesion at the expense of everyone who wasn't a part of the ground crew. Then we cut to Gaius and Caprica standing over a babbling hybrid in a toaster tub. They debate the sanity of the hybrid's nonstop chatter. Caprica tells Gaius the Leobans believe the hybrid speaks in the voice of God, the controller, the mind of the base ship. Gaius says she's gone insane. Any comments on these scenes?
Well, as we alluded to the whole time that we've been breaking down this episode, you can see the animosity of one group of human crew toward the other. Obviously.
Tribalism, it's tribalism, really.
Yeah, you can see
it's going to happen. It's good. It's addressed too. I mean, and my favorite thing is it builds up to my favorite episode of the whole series.
Yeah, and you can see that that Kara and Ty especially are walking time bombs, as I alluded to earlier. And they're just absolutely just spreading misery about. They're bringing everybody down. And it's just it's a terrible from the morale standpoint when you're trying to run a ship. Yeah, you can't have that kind of thing happening amongst your crew. So yeah, it's Hilo was right when he said that he doesn't think they care about morale at all.
Yeah, they don't care. This is the Hurt Feelings Olympics, and it's all about shared experience, and it's all about the contest of who is more hurt, who is more injured, who is more emotionally wounded. And of course, no one can win that kind of a battle because there's no dragon you can physically slay.
Right.
It's all the theater of the mind. So it's
Well
unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's an internal struggle. It's not about any kind of external force at that point. And everyone's hurt. When you're hurt, when you have hurt fifis, you need to come together and create cancel culture and do stuff that's like really nasty.
I knew you were going to bring that up.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help it.
No, but it is true because it is very difficult to impart emotional injury. It's not really something that you can measure. So I'm glad that you brought that up because the Hurt Feelings Olympics is a very special Olympics.
Yes, it is very special, and nobody wins the gold.
No.
Yeah.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay, let's keep going. We cut to Gaius moving base ship to base ship alone. He flies into the infected
Tortured
base ship and lands. He radios that the plague ship is riddled with skin job bodies. He identifies a piece of human equipment. He takes fluid samples from a dying Six and asks her about the human equipment. She accuses Gaius of sabotaging them. They bicker. Gaius snaps his crayons and crushes her neck. Dural radios Gaius for a situation update. Gaius tells him that he has nothing remarkable to report, and he says that he's returning. So I'm going to stop here, even though this is such a short scene. Holy Moses, this is a super violent scene, and you can definitely tell that that Gaius this is now the worst of Gaius. So not only was he okay to sign these notices for these death squads, these orders for these death squads, but the way in which he brutally crushes this Six's neck just for his own self-preservation and the violence with which he does it, it's just ugh.
Well, he's panicked.
Yeah, but this is Silence of the Lambs. I thought he was going to offer her some fava beans. It's not good.
Nah, well, he's in survival mode. That's all it's about. He's in a situation. He's also been stressed out of his mind since the beginning of this show. So we've just seen this downward spiral of a man who is a genius and a manipulator, just being put into all these intense situations, most by his own making. I will agree. But like I said before about the notices, I would have taken a different route, I think, with all of that.
She did say that she wanted him to kill her.
That's some strange fetish, man. That's a fetish I can't get behind.
I mean, because essentially they, she said that the beacon fucked him up. Basically, that it got him all sick, and she doesn't want to go on like that. So, right. I think he looked at it as a mercy killing when he said that.
Well, I think it's symbolic for him as well, in a way. With everything that he's gone through and everything that he sees the Angel Six, and it's kind of a guy, but it's also torturing him. And now he's actually around these Cylons and around Six models, and they're he's being treated as a pawn, as a toy, really.
Yeah, but he also crushed her neck because he was terrified that Dural heard what she was saying, right? So it wasn't like he was like, oh, this is a mercy killing.
No, okay.
I'm
Yeah.
such a great doctor and a wonderful guy. It was more like, shut up, bitch. I don't want Doral to hear a single word you're saying.
Right.
Because, not good. Because, of course, she is saying, no, you betrayed us. You betrayed us. You set us up. You set us up. So I found the whole thing to be quite diabolical. Brian?
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Like, I'm watching the playback right here, and like the angle they shot him at, and the eyes being wide open.
Right?
Yeah. Like maybe there's some catharsis there, but it seemed just like a bit more like self-preservation. It's slimy Gaius again,
Yes.
and then now he's screwed over two completely different species.
Cold-blooded critic,
And
welcome, hail.
Effort to protect himself, you know. So it's just
Yeah.
it's Gaius. Like,
It's just Gaius.
at this point, it's like the guy that keeps touching kids. When you keep letting them around kids, it's like, well, kid's gonna get touched, people. Won't let us lock that guy away. So, you know.
Really sad. Just a diabolical murder. So, shall we continue?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Back on the base ship, Gaius approaches the Skin Job Council, debating abandoning the plague ship. They accuse him of trapping them and infecting them. The Cylons erupt in violent arguing until Beers screams and compels them to leave the plague ship. The hybrid begins screeching and protesting. They jump away. Beers continues to question Gaius, while Caprica inspects the inspection and investigation photos he took. He denies anything unusual took place. We cut to the rec room on Galactica. Admiral Adama appears and clears the room of all but Sol and Kara. Adama requests Kara's sidearm. He cocks and arms it and orders one of these drunks to shoot him. He calls them cowards. He says they are poisoning the pilots and the crew. Kara tells the old man that if he's looking for apologies, it ain't happening. Adama throws her drunk ass on the floor and says that Kara was once a daughter to him, but no longer.
That's some
He calls
power.
her
I love how he...
and a cancer. He tells her that she has a choice. She can clean up her act or she's off Galactica. He dismisses her sorry ass. She kicks her chair and runs off. And I'll stop here before I talk about the tie exchange because everyone interrupted. So everybody has some keen feelings about this. Stephen, I'll go to you first. How did you feel when he was like, you're a malcontent, you're a cancer, you were my daughter, you're nothing to me anymore? What did you think of that moment?
No, that was Daddy putting down the law is what that was. That's how Kara thinks of him. That's her father figure, and he does look upon her as a daughter. So, yeah, that was he's got to set her straight. He has to set his child on the correct path. Go ahead, Drew.
I thought it was brilliant, man. Just the way, God, he acted that out so good. Dude, Steven, when he kicked the fucking chair.
Right.
Everything else.
Right.
Dude.
He knows how to create a boom. You know,
I mean, he was laying down the damn law, bro. I'm like, yes. I mean, he told him, and then on top of it, you know, then he looks over to Ty. He's like, you. And then he just,
you
know, oh man.
Let Brian go ahead. What did you think, man?
I'm sitting here just reveling in it right now. Ty asking him, "You got to kick my chair out too?"
Yeah, well, I can get into that right now. So Ty isn't contrite either, and he asks the old man if he'll kick him off his chair as well. Adama tries to express his sympathy and understanding, but Ty cuts him off and forces him to the point. Adama tells Ty that he's full of bile and hatred. He apologizes for Ty's loss, but says that he has no use for a one-eyed drunk, sowing discontent. Adama tells him to shoot him or clean himself up. Ty takes the gun and removes the ammunition. He tells Adama that he won't be seeing him again, and Ty leaves. Yeah. Any comments on this? This is quite sad, isn't it?
That's Brian's
friends.
I just like this is my favorite thing. Like, this is perfect. It's like peak Adama here because like he just very eloquently destroyed a subordinate and like someone who's almost parallel as an equal, you know, like, and he did it in two very different ways. And like with Kara, it was more of a physical thing, but with Saul, it was very verbal. Like he knew where to attack each of them to provoke the response that was going to be needed.
Oh yeah,
it's perfect. It's just peak Adama. It's just why I love this show. Just going back and watching him, like he teaches you how to like definitely dress someone down in a proper way. That's what I love about it.
Upgating Actual, like it says, the scene shows why Adama's in charge. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Ruth Curry says, technicality, racks the slide. BSG pistols didn't use hammer-type sidearms. No, they did not.
I'm sorry, I don't know anything about guns, which is why I put a / on it and just said, like ammunition or whatever. I'm Canadian and I know.
Oh no, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. You have a gun question? Ask us.
I was gonna say it's an airsoft pistol anyway, so.
Yeah, isn't
like every time I look at this thing, I'm like, it's so plastic.
Yeah.
You can see the seam. It's horrible. It's the only bad thing, but it's a good thing too because the guns weren't important in the show.
Yeah.
They were a total it's like, oh yeah, we have guns too.
Yeah.
Pew pew. It wasn't that important.
No.
So do you think that he was really after this kind of a response from Saul, or do you think that he's disappointed that Saul like overdoes it? And I mean, we're talking like these guys are colleagues. There's obviously a lot of mutual respect there. They both also have a reverence for the chain of command. They don't break with the chain of command. These are two dignified military guys. So, there's all this respect here, but there's also a friendship. These guys are like brothers. And I don't think that at this point the old man has anything to lose by pushing Saul to this level of conflict. But at the same time, I don't think he was expecting Saul to do this. To just completely regress and say, you're never going to see me ever again. It's really sad, I think.
It is, but Adama, had it past up past his eyeballs as well. I mean,
oh my goodness, I haven't heard that since the 1970s. I had it up past my eyeballs. Do you have any Irish in you? That's a very old saying. That is a cool saying. I've had enough. It's up past my eyeballs.
Well, I mean, think about it, Raquel. You're in charge of the ship. You got to look out for the entirety of the crew. And if you've got people sowing discontent, just spreading misery, you've got to cut that out fast.
Yeah.
And he knew what he had to do. He dressed down Kara. He dressed down Ty. And, it sucks for him. I mean, I'm sure for Adama it smarts on one end, but at the same time, he's got to do what he's got to do for the good of everyone else on the ship.
But it's also very revealing too, though, right? Because when the old man ties into Kara, he's not aware of the way that she has been abused. So there's no, so he's not sure. So he decides to just completely rebuke her so that she'll spill over. But I think with Ty, he made it clear like 3 times, perhaps 4, how much he empathized with him and how he recognized his pain and just the brutal nature of everything that happened with his wife. So it's just for me. It's the 2 reactions are just so different. He's in a total state of unknowing with Kara and wants her to overflow and have an outburst and to say what happened to her so that the release valve can happen, right? The levee can break. But with Ty, I think he was really trying to connect with him emotionally because I don't think these 2 men get very many opportunities to connect emotionally. And I liked what Brian said about he sees this same thing I see with this friendship, because this goes way past just being a colleague. This goes way past just being in the military. These two are like brothers. So I feel so bad for Adam. He's got 2 head cases, and he knows what's going on with one of them.
And one of them happens to be his best friend. Yeah.
Yes. And then the other one, he's oblivious. He has no idea what's going on with his daughter. He's completely in the dark. He has no clue.
But Urkarian brings up some interesting points. The scene is an example of what would actually happen in this situation with the personalities involved. And then he said, in a real world situation, we all know a person in our lives who is a rock of sanity, who would put their foot down and also be able to express the severity of the situation.
Agreed. Great comment.
And Toxic Man Flu says, this is the Adama I thought should have been there the whole time, the dictator they needed. It shows how much their society had democracy and freedom ingrained in their psyche. And then Parrot Head Concurs says Adama behaved like a good CO.
I also think he behaved as a good brother, as a good friend. And I also think that he behaved as a good father to Kara, because she's got all that. He knows that there's something bottled up inside of her, and he knows that he's got to let the genie out of the bottle, as it were, because it will destroy her if not. So Adama's, he's got his hands full here. The 2 people who he absolutely adores are a mess. They're a shit show.
But the best thing about it is that he knew what buttons to push.
Yes.
To force a reaction, which kind of leads into your next breakdown.
Yeah.
Each person still had a moment. I mean, good, bad.
Yeah.
It's something needed to happen.
Yeah.
In order to move forward, and it just showed how he knew. Okay, this is my friend. But it also starts to bring to a head that Adama is starting to see that it's my fault too. And that's also the great thing you catch when the way he's talking to him is that he's taking blame at the same time as he's dressing them down. It's excellent writing.
Yeah. He definitely holds himself accountable for letting them get out of hand and maybe not reaching out sooner to figure out what's going on with them. But we have a rapid succession of very short scenes here that tie up this episode. So let's do it. Okay. We go to the showers, and Kara brandishes her knife and cuts off her hair. She goes full on Britney. And then we cut to Ty in his quarters, drinking himself stupid. Then we cut to Kara walking through the civilian area in uniform, looking for Casey. Then we cut to Ty. Then we cut to Kara visiting with Casey. Then we cut to Ty holding Ellen's clothes and a photo. Then we cut to Racetrack and Athena finding the pulsar, only to find themselves completely surrounded in Cylons, silently floating. Any comments on these scenes?
Yeah, it's just, I think Kara, you could see that Kara at least is finding maybe a breakthrough by sort of completing that circle. She finds Casey and the mom and the little girl when she hands her the stuffed animal, and they have a final hug. I think that is part of what kind of works to send her forward.
Well, it's all about ending cycles and starting new ones, death and rebirth, ending old traits or things, or leaving things behind, and then going forward into the new. That's what I saw during those rapid succession of the different.
And Ty is definitely still broken. We can see that he's just drinking himself into oblivion. And then that's the most
personal attachment, your wife, the person you've been through. Like that relationship was born of fire. That fire kept them going, whether it was positive or negative. So he's taken the greatest loss, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Greatest change.
Well, with Kara here, we're also seeing the classic cycle of loss, right? So you have these stages you go through where you have anger and you have denial, and then you want to make amends and you want to enter the reparative phase. So I think having it out with the old man and being disowned as a daughter shook her up. And she realized that her time to feel sorry for herself, her time to grieve, her time to be angry was over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And then, and then we get to kind of a little bit of the action, the operational portion, if you will, when, Racetrack and Sharon, they jump to those coordinates and boom, they're right dead in the middle of a bunch of Cylons and everything else. And they're about to shit themselves because Racetrack is Racetrack is like sitting there panicking. But it's funny. There was this quote that Sharon had that I don't know if you guys picked up on, where she said, it was like this poignant thing where she said that something about when God's anger awakens, even the mighty fall.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to the end, I think, or something.
Well, I think that's also because she is keenly aware that they're sort of floating like ether, like Bugs Bunny in the castle there in Looney Tunes. She realizes that they're all stopped, they're full stop, as we would say in Star Trek. So she realizes that they've come upon a complete catastrophe. Right. And she's wondering what's happening, but she's not aware of what's going on yet. Right.
Yeah. Racetrack wasn't, but yeah, Sharon was catching on real quick. So, it's going to be definitely interesting to see what happens next week. I'm anxious to break that down because it gets really good next week. I'll leave it at that.
And Roof Korean says, not going to lie, I partially expected during all the quick cuts back and forth, one cut would be Ty dressed in Ellen's outfit, wearing a wig, crying. So he thought that we were going to go full on psycho. Roof Korean figured we were going to the Bates Motel, and that did not happen.
Yeah, and you had to wonder because, like I said, Ty with his drinking problem and grief, that is usually a bad recipe for anybody. So
Ty's only drinking problem is when he poured it down his cheek during this episode.
Right. Big that.
And Parrothead says that's what a CO has to be at different times. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. When you're in a position of leadership, you can't just always be the heavy. You can't always be the military figure. You also have to be the brother if it calls for that. You have to be the sister if it calls for that. And there are many different roles that you take: father, mother, sister, brother, best friend, confidant, and then back to being in charge of you again. It's being able to assemble those boundaries between those roles to make sure that you don't break down the chain of command or weaken your own position and therein weaken your leadership. Because when you're a leader, people require you to thrash themselves against, The ocean's always going to come in, and it's always going to go over the beach. So you have to be the beach.
Yeah, absolutely. So all in all, for me, I thought this was a good episode. I liked it actually a bit better than I liked Collaborators.
Mm-hmm.
This one was one of the episodes that I dug pretty well because it got into a lot of the cool stuff where they start to teach you just what makes the Cylons tick. And I always like episodes like that where you can find out, about the other side of the tracks and see, what makes the other faction tick. So So yeah, I thought it was really cool.
Well, there's a trend happening now too. We're not having as intricate of writing. We don't see the complexity in the script that we saw before, and it's drastically changed the way that we review the show, because we've gone from 12 pages of notes down to 7 or 8, because there aren't all of these intricacies, and you're not trying to explain all of these different relationships and cause and effect between the characters. So the writing has definitely simplified as we're getting thicker into this season, or deeper into this season, I should say.
Yep. Upgating Exel says the good of the whole ship is always in the back of the captain's mind. Correct. If they're a good captain, it's definitely how that is. And Fury Kitten popped in. Hail to you, Fury Kitten. Great to see you. Sorry that you came in near the end, but you could definitely catch what you missed on the playback.
Is that Hello Kitty in a dominatrix outfit? That is one heck of an
Yes,
avatar.
it is.
That is an awesome avatar.
That is. That is. Yeah, she has a beastly avatar, man. It's great. I love it.
Gives a whole new meaning to Hello Kitty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, Kitty. So yeah, all in all, I think this episode for me is probably a good 7.5. I thought again it was it got into good territory where you start to learn more about the other faction, and that's always neat to me. I thought that the very real illustration of tribalism, as Steven so eloquently put it, between the people, the returning survivors from New Caprica, trying to reintegrate into one crew with the people that have already been there. This definitely provides some interesting sort of conflict, and I really enjoyed it. And all in all, it was a very solid episode to me. Brian?
I'll give it a solid 7.5. I enjoyed how much I got to learn about the Cylons and how they actually function, and everything's just coming together very smoothly right now. It's showing everything. This is season 3 was when everything was just firing on all cylinders, and this is great, solid TV, excellent watch.
Steven?
I want to say 8 because I really enjoy I enjoyed the dead Cylons of the imagery of the whole episode, and I like Adama showing his testicles, waving them around a little bit, getting the kids in line whether they be grown or not, and I enjoyed this episode a lot, so I'm gonna give it an 8. And this season is one of my favorites, so I can't wait. Like I said when I was reviewing this, I had to keep going and going and going. It couldn't stop because I really enjoyed how seamless it was. These episodes in particular.
And the queen of our scene, Raquel Briggs.
You're too kind. I don't know. I think TMF has a good rating for this episode. I believe he gave it 8 out of 10 BDSM kitties. So
nice.
Yeah. Yes.
So I'm gonna go along with TMF, and I'm going to agree with that 8 out of 10. Simplified writing is really nice. It's nice to find out what's going on with the Cylons at this point. It's really nice to return to the main characters. The main characters of this show are the characters I'm most interested in. So when we spend a great deal of time with them, the rating always goes up for me. So good.
Tony, that's a good point. Rukarian makes a final point here. Tony says, in a military environment, it is professional and proper to never get close to folks you serve with, to not have the appearance of impropriety or favoritism. However, humans will human, essentially. Humans suffer from human nature.
Humans got a human.
Yep, exactly. So, all right, we will go around the horn, let everybody plug their various things, and then we will see you folks back here for next week. So, Brian the Gravedigger, I'm sure right now you don't have too much going on with your channel until you go and get all your stuff.
Yeah, I'm currently still on hiatus. Trying
All right.
to figure out my hot water pipe situation right now. So,
Dude, good luck, brother.
Yep. Good luck, man.
Yeah.
Do
And
you
got no hot water.
have insulation handy? Like
The
maybe
hot water-
some in your garage, because if you take some insulation and you put it on the pipes and you wrap it with a little bit of aluminum foil, or what we call tin foil in Canada, that a lot of people do that actually just to save energy, but it will keep your pipes from freezing a little bit better than if they're naked.
Well, there's only one point in the whole house where they're exposed, and I covered that up last night. But I've got water coming through the hot line, so there's water flowing through the hot water tank. So I just got to figure out what's up with the hot water tank.
Yeah.
And make sure it didn't burn out because it's electric. So yeah, there's
Did
that.
you clean it out? Make sure you clean it out, because the trap is probably filled with crap, right?
Yeah.
YouTube
Probably.
how to clean out the hot water tank trap, because I know that if you clean out the trap, you can extend the life of it by quite a bit.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll check into it.
Raquel always dropping knowledge. Thank you.
yes, he is.
Not just Canadian crap.
Thank you, teacher.
and speaking of the wonderful, indispensable Queen of the North, Queen of this podcast.
Queen of the North.
Yes.
Oh my, that's quite a moniker. I love you. Thank you, Drew, so much.
She makes this go. So Raquel, go ahead and plug anything that you like.
Well, tonight I didn't make us go. I got a message at 25 after 6 that the show was starting. And
That's
so,
my bad.
We had a really super rough start, and I'm sorry for bursting onto the show, asking everybody in the pre-show prep how they were all doing when we were already engrossed in the episode. So with that apology out of the way, I'd like to thank Drew for having me on the Pegasus Sexual Podcast. I'd like to thank the moderators and the chat and the panel. You can find my published nonfiction list at academia.edu. That's textbook stuff, kind of scholarly stuff. If you're into science fiction, you can find my work under R.M. Briggs at Amazon.com, or on your Kindle device or your Kindle app under R.M. Briggs. You can also check me out on a channel called Clobberin' Times, Michael Lanza's Clobberin' Times, where we do Saturday Night Star Trek, and we do the original Star Trek 66 to 05.
Yeah, that's very good. Make sure that you catch Raquel on that show on Mike's channel, because Mike's a good dude too. If you like the content on this channel, you're definitely going to like the content on Mike's channel. So, if you guys enjoy Star Trek, catch that show out. And Mike does a lot of comics related stuff too. He's very knowledgeable, great man. And of course, who doesn't want more Raquel? Because, well, we all do. So
you're very kind. I'm deserving of that.
And look, it's my bad, because I literally, guys, I blew out that message like probably 10 minutes before I was going to go live.
Yeah.
And then, so it's definitely not on Raquel. That's on me. But yeah, we started early tonight because I know comics is starting early tonight. We want to make sure that we had ample time to jump over there, and we didn't step too much on his show as well. So, it worked out good. We got our time in. We may move forward and go on with this starting time around the 8:15, 8:30 time frame moving forward. But, we'll let you guys know that definitely before next week's episode.
Yes, please. That'd be great. I don't want to show up 45 minutes early again.
Yeah. All right, Steven.
So I would like to can you share my screen, because I just want to spend my outro time reminding everyone that Justin Proper had his camera on and Mike while he was pissing. This is courtesy of Culture Casino. Thank you, Parrot Head. So please denounce Justin's supremacy, guys, and thank you very much. Have a great night.
No, he's not done. Please, Stephen Walton is the Phantom Menace historian. He has a book out. He's on Indiegogo. I believe the second book is in progress.
Yep, it is.
You all also need to please follow Stephen Walton's channel. He runs a little channel called Rogue Entertainment. There are tons of really cool people on that. And it's not so little. And he has some science fiction novels coming out. So make sure that if you're on Twitter that you give author Stephen Walton a follow and pop by that Indiegogo. And if you're on YouTube, please go and subscribe to his channel. Hit your notification bell. You will not regret it. Stephen is a very sweet and wonderful person, and he has lots of stuff going on. And he could probably tell stuff he's doing. So check him out.
Thank you, Raquel. I'm clipping that, and I'm going to play that.
All right.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Gravedigger Tony said that if your water heater is electric, good chance upper thermostat tripped if you lost power.
Yeah, imagine having an
Alrighty,
electric
I'll check
water
into it.
heater. An electric water heater. That's crazy.
Cabatano, good to see you, buddy. Cabatano Che. Stephen Walton also has coffee on the way. And actually, he really does actually have coffee on the way. And we'll see that down the road, folks.
Yeah, as soon as Culture Casino and I work out the finer details, I'll let you guys know.
Yeah, Fat Steven Seagal with the gasp emoji. Surprised emoji. All right, so as for myself, I have some new videos up on the channel, as I explained at the beginning of the broadcast. Please do like, share, support those. Myself and Culture Casino put some work in on them. And if you like heavy metal at all, like just different music, toss a like on them, toss a comment on them. We're getting into starting to try the reaction stuff on my channel, and it's been well received, the first two videos in, and I just want to keep the momentum going. Also, we're up to 484 subscribers. And of course, don't forget, Sunday, I will be having a birthday stream. You guys are all invited. I am going to make sure that I send the link out to all my friends across the community. If you can make it, please do. If you can't, that's okay too. But if you can make it, please, I hope you do, because it'll be great to spend time with everyone. That'll be this Sunday from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. And I'm going to have a good time just kicking back, drinking, having some fun with all of you. And I promise it will be a legendary time. That will be fun. So looking forward to that. And, you can, Roof Korean, if you have song suggestions to review, you can drop that in the comments on my videos. And because I do check all the comments. So, all right. Well, thank you guys for another great Pegasus Actual podcast. We will see you next week. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. And
wash your hands and wash your ass.
So say we all.
So say we all.